Welcome back to The Real Story. Today's next segment is all about crime prevention, similar to where we started the show today. Except this time, we're not talking about crimes like assault, homicide, or robbery. We're talking about cybercrime. And that's because October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Unfortunately, cybercrime is all too common in modern America, and the data about it is staggering. In 2024 alone, total reported losses from cybercrime reached over $16 billion, and nearly 860,000 complaints were filed with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaints Center. By amount of loss then, the leading online crime category in 2024 was investment fraud. And the most common type of cyber attack all across the board was phishing, a practice where criminals will trick people into divulging extremely sensitive information by pretending to be legitimate entities. It's not just phishing, though, and cyber criminals deploy many other sinister methods for retrieving people's personal information. And once they have access to it, they're able to do all kinds of terrible damage. They'll steal your identity. They'll steal your money. They will destroy your reputation, or even worse, endanger you or your loved ones. So, in a digital age where everybody is online all the time, how can people really stay safe? Well, that's where our next guest enters the picture. He's a former counterintelligence operative for the FBI, a cybersecurity expert, and he famously helped capture a man named Robert Hanssen, who was the most damaging spy in U.S. history. Now he's turning his insider expertise to one of the biggest threats facing America. So without further ado, here to join us is Eric O'Neill, the author of Spies, Lies, and Cybercrime: Cybersecurity Tactics to Outsmart Hackers and Disarm Scammers. Eric, thank you for joining me.
Riley, it's great to be here to talk about spies, lies, and cybercrime and what you can do to protect yourself.
Yes, please. So just to set the stage here, let's start with your background and your career with the FBI.
So my background comes from counterintelligence and counterterrorism. Counterintelligence, the science of catching spies, and counterterrorism, the science of stopping terrorists. And what I learned was the ways to understand how attackers are trying to steal our secrets, or in the case of terrorists, cause mayhem and damage. By recognizing the ways attackers are exploiting us or deceiving us, we can know how to defend ourselves against them. And so as I learned to hunt spies, I was also thinking about how to stop criminals. And right now, this new book is all about how to do that.
That's interesting. So what specifically inspired you to write this book?
Well, I saw the rise of cybercrime. Right now, globally, cybercrime is one of the top businesses on earth. The cost of just cybercrime flowing through the dark web right now is around $14 trillion, which means cybercrime alone is the third largest economy on earth. It's bigger than Germany and Japan put together. It's second only to China and the US.
Wow.
So that is the threat. That means there are more cyber criminals out there trying to steal our data, our identities, the very things that make us live happy lives. Then there are people out there trying to defend against it. So it is not whether you will be attacked, it's when. We need to be ready for it.
That is insane, Eric. So when it comes to the victims then, who's most at risk? Is it individual people? Is it businesses? Is it government agencies? Paint us a picture.
It's all of the above. There is a flavor of cyber criminal for you, depending on what you do, how big you are. It's just a matter of scale. And the tactics are exactly the same. Because what cyber criminals are doing, they're not using some computer where they're typing and they somehow get into your computer. What they're doing is they are fooling you, which is why, and Riley, you set this up, phishing still is the #1 way that cyber attackers steal our information. That would be an email that tricks you, it deceives you. That's old espionage tactics in a modern environment.
That's really interesting. Okay, so that's especially interesting because everybody's online, and I think we've all had at least one experience where it's a very suspicious email, a phone call and you get a voicemail. It's from somebody you don't know, but maybe it's from a phone number with an area code that you recognize. So I feel like cyber criminals are very tricky in the way they try to deceive you, and that is a process that evolves over time. So when it comes to being safe when you're navigating the internet and just going about your life, what are some best practices for people?
Certainly. So first, you want to protect yourself, and you do that by preparing. You're being careful online, you're being careful where you go, and you're especially being careful when you're receiving emails, texts, DMs on social media. This is where cyber attackers love to attack us. Turn on two-factor authentication everywhere, so if they steal your password, they won't be able to get into your accounts. And most importantly, don't give in to pressure situations. When you see something that's too good to be true, when you see something that a criminal is saying, there is going to be a crisis if you don't click, if you don't send me money, if you don't do this, take a step back and take a breath. That's the most important thing you can do. Because what cybercrime wants to do is put you in a pressure situation where you feel that you have to take that action that they want and you don't.
Okay, so let's just role play for a moment.
Right.
So let's say that you're sitting at home one day, you're on your laptop, you're browsing the web, and you do get a phishing email. And you, for whatever reason, you open it and you think you can trust it, so you click the link that's in the email, and then all the bad stuff starts happening. What should people do in that moment?
Right. Well, if you feel like you're the victim of a cyber attack, the fastest thing you need to do is start changing passwords, especially if they get into your email. If they're able to get into your email, they are now able to get to your passwords to virtually everything, because we're using our email accounts to register for things. And it can also mean that you need to report it. You might report to your bank if, for example, they're phishing your bank account. If it's your social media account, you need to quickly contact them and change the username and password. And that's why it's so critical to have something more than a password, your two-factor authentication. And it gets worse. Cyber criminals are using AI to deceive us, using deepfakes in a way that is growing as a threat, and something everyone has to be aware of. Because you might get a call from your sister, your daughter, your grandmother, someone you love, or someone in your family with their voice telling you, and this is one that's going around right now, Riley, I just got in a car wreck, Dad. I'm sorry I hurt someone. I'm in prison. I'm in jail. The next person you're going to talk to is the public defender. Please just help me out. Then you talk to somebody who says they're the public defender. They want you to send money for bail, or your daughter, your son is going to be in prison for the next week. And it can create that massive pressure situation. The trick there, have a code word with your family. Be able to say in that moment, when you take that step back, okay, what's the code word? And if they don't know the code word, it may be an AI trick.
That is really interesting. I don't know if people are trying that, but I think they should. But it does bring me to another question, because what's central here that you're talking about is how to be careful, and that means how to spot a possible cyber attack. So on this theme of AI for a moment, just how revolutionary do you think that is in terms of enabling internet criminals to increase the efficacy of their attacks?
Yeah, they're using it to attack you and me. An individual, what they'll do is they'll do reconnaissance on your social media. They'll steal clips of someone speaking. That's how they clone the voice. They'll send the attack when that loved one that they're impostoring is away on vacation or somewhere else. And so they're being very clever. And what you need to do is recognize that these attacks are happening, that it will probably hit you at some point, and not get fooled by it. Once again, they will put you in a pressure situation. This has to happen now. That's very rare. They will also always ask for money in some way, shape, or form. That's a very good clue.
So they'll put a clock on it, so you feel like you have to act. And then there's some kind of call to action. Call me back, send me money, give me some piece of information they're trying to get from you, and then all the bad stuff follows.
And then the bad stuff follows. Now, right now you also have to be worried about, because we're moving into the holiday season, I call this Scamtoberfest for the cyber criminals. They are looking to send us these fake, really high, slick, built with AI marketing ads for things we want. Like, for example, the perfect Halloween costume, 70% off, 1 hour left to buy this. And if you don't click now, it's going to disappear. But when you do it, and you'll get this through your social media, you'll click on the ad, you'll send the money, you'll pay for expedited shipping, and you will never get anything. What you've just done is given them your credit card number and your address, and they can use it for identity fraud.
It's a scary thought to think this is just happening all around us all the time. It's hard to not be a little paranoid when you hear that, Eric. However, I appreciate you giving us some advice and some insight into this. And before we let you go today, for people who are interested in your book, where can they go to buy it?
Certainly, you can go right to my website, www.ericoneal.net. You can also join my weekly newsletter there where I have all these tips and tricks. But Spies, Lies, and Cybercrime is sold wherever books are sold. And if you really like my voice, you can download the Audible version.
Okay, understood. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, Eric.
Thank you, Riley.
Coming up next, our pop culture analyst explains why movie aggregating website Rotten Tomatoes is the very last place on Earth you should ever look when trying to find quality films and TV shows. More details about why that is after the break.